Hello once again, everyone. Bob Martin, RCSubGuy with the Nautilus Dry Docks, and if you're watching this, you're probably interested in RC submarines. At least I'm hoping so, because that's all we're going to be talking about for the most part. It is Monday, December 16th. This is our weekly update video. We're going to walk you through what we get done this week, and a lot of what we don't get done this week. Let's get started. So, we've already packed up a bunch of submarines. If you've been following my channel last week, we tested out an albacore. Got that all done. We got that boxed up. It's going to Australia. Australia, mate! And we are now unpacking the cylinder for that little X-Craft that we had done. The new owner got a little manhandly on it when he was taking it apart, broke it, and got super concerned that he wouldn't be able to put it together again. So we're going to take a quick look at that and see what the heck is going on. How's it look?
Doesn't look too bad.
We got some broken pieces.
Trying to figure out where these...
I think it was on
chunkies
this end.
No?
I don't know. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. We got to figure out what's wrong with this thing. So we found out what it was. It's the little flanges that kind of lock in these sidebars. It's really not a problem at all. Structurally, nothing is compromised. We're just going to glue. It's permanently adhered anyway, so we're gonna glue that in, and that'll be perfectly fine. The only other thing we got going on is right here, and I think some thin CA, because the seal interface has not been compromised. So this is all just in the back part there. We'll glue that and make sure that that is locked in. And then once we're done, we're going to go through the correct methodology for putting this thing together and taking it apart so this doesn't happen again. So let's talk a little bit about removing the end caps off of this. And this is not only for this specific cylinder, but any cylinder with an inside face seal on the exterior tube there. What you really want to stop from occurring is a lot of transverse load that is going to shear off any sort of mounting points that you have to the equipment tray. And in this particular case, it's really, really easy. Just grab it from opposite sides. Grab it in your hand, put your thumb on either side, and just push up. That's it. That way the force is all in the middle and you're not twisting the end cap. So let's watch that again. Let me get this in. Hold on. Let me get oh. So thumbs on either side and just push it up. Just like that. And then obviously to put it back down, you want your force straight back down too. Now, sometimes it's going to get a little stiff, right? It's going to get a little hung up in there, so if you don't use a little grease to keep things lubricated. In that case, you may need to pry it with a screwdriver. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put it under the lip. Let me grab a screwdriver. 1 second. So what you're going to do is not push it in and just jam it all the way up. You're going to push it in, little twist. Push it in, little twist. All the way around the outside, around and around and around and around, and now you can get your finger in there. So that's it. This is applicable especially for the older D&E watertight cylinders, the R&R watertight cylinders, and of course the 250 EZs that we manufacture, and it will also be applicable for the 200 series subdriver. So be gentle, make sure that you're pulling it straight out and pushing it straight back in, and you won't have a problem. So I wanted to share with you a new product from Vladimir with scale ships. Some of you guys know, you've seen my Akula in the background here. Absolutely gorgeous work. He did Oscar in the past, but the kits he is producing right now is the Bori and the Lada, and in particular the product that relates to the Bori is the one I want to talk about right now. So this is what Vladimir calls his hull section set, and really what this is an absolutely gorgeous display model of the missile section of the Bori. And when it's all done, this is kind of what it looks like. It's an absolutely amazingly detailed cross section of the Bori ballistic missile submarine. Get all of these part lists, all of the diagrams showing how the parts are assembled. All of them are listed out in there in terms of part numbers, what they look like when they go together, etc. And these are all of the parts. It looks like the vast majority of these were printed in exceptionally high detail resin. You can see them all there, and it even comes with a hardwood display base. So if this is the kind of thing that interests you, this would make an absolutely beautiful display model for a shelf desk, you know, for office or library. It's the Bulava missiles, I believe, are the ones that are modeled in here. You can see that Bulava in these parts lists. I really recommend it. This is a really cool kit. If this is something you're interested in, I currently have one available that he sent for evaluation and review. You know, I'm not going to have the chance to build all of this out myself, unless, of course, somebody wants me to do that. But for those of you who want to take a crack at it yourself, these kits are now listed up on my website. You can go ahead and take a look at it. One in stock, but if not, hey, we'll just order more in. Hope you enjoyed it. I think it's super cool. We are out at the top secret test facility, and we're about ready to drop Virginia in. We're going to do a final trim test and see what it is we're working with now that we got everything in there. All right, she's floating at the correct water line. That's a good start. All right, let me grab the radio and we'll see what happens when we flood the tank. So, pulled this out, and apparently the probe has decided not to work again. The tank is overfilled, and I think what happened is some water got up, forced itself through the vent, and now there's about a teaspoon in the forward compartment, which is not a big deal. There's nothing that it's touching, but it's still a pain in the butt. And now the tank is not blowing. It's not pumping in reverse. It'll pump water in, but not pump water out. All right, we think we got our buoyancy thing figured out, and for whatever reason, now the sensor's working. I don't know what's going on. Let's so we're messing around with the ASDS here. It's negatively buoyant. Let's just throw it on there for fun. Snap it on. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, if it doesn't breach the holes in the top, it'll take longer for the water to get in there.
It's actually pretty good. Give it a little dunk-a-lunk all the way down.
Has he pushed it?
Yeah, I mean it's positively buoyant. We got sails sticking out, but I mean obviously it's a little bit heavy in the stern now that we got the ASDS on there. If we were to add just a sliver of foam inside the ASDS, I think we would be in good shape. All right, let's hit the pump, bring it up. Nope. Every time we turn it on, the ballast system blows a little water out as part of the self-test. But it's not working. I'll bet you it'll go down though. Yep, there it goes. All right, let's pull this thing out. All right, so sit rep with this. We have to drain this manually because for whatever reason, the pump controller from OTW is not allowing us to pump the tank out with the controller, which is really crappy. There is a leak in this seal somewhere. I think we just need to replace all of it. This is a brand new seal, brand new cylinder, but there is. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll take a look at the seals. They need to be replaced. We got to figure out what this whole pumping situation is. I've got some. I think I've got some extra controllers. We'll see what happens. But now let's see here. Let's start with the 200. That'll be an easy one, I think, because we've tested it before. We just need to check and make sure the ballast tank is not leaking. All right, as I mentioned, this is our new 200 series, full-fledged sub driver with ballast system. We're just going to do a final ballast check, make sure that everything is working properly here. And now we got a 2.4 gig radio in here just for testing purposes, so got to keep that up out of the water. But we're going to go ahead. There we go. Flooding. Tank is filling. And then you can see the air coming out of there. That's the air that's being displaced by the water. So what's going to happen right away here, that's going to reach the hole and we should see water coming out. Oh, there we go. Good. We're full. Now, if I plug this and you go in the I'm going to try this. I got wet fingers. This is hard to do. Okay. Okay, you can see that bubble expanding. And now if I let go, the pressure equalizes and we're venting. Or wait, blowing. We're blowing right now. We're not venting. So when I pinched this off, it was simulating the model being under the water. And when I had it out, it's simulating having the tower out of the water. There we go. It works, by Jove. All right, so this is the Akula cylinder. Now we're going to check for watertight integrity and the functionality of the ballast system. There's a lot of buoyancy in that cylinder. You can see it's only halfway submerged there. So we need you to push it all the way under so that when it starts pressuring up. Well, actually, I don't know. This might not be I don't know if it's a vented or a sealed tank. It'll be interesting. Okay, push it under. And we'll see if we have our ballast system set up properly.
It's filling.
Filling. Okay, good. It's going in the right direction. And we got a leak. A big leak.
Coming from your slit.
It's coming from the actual ballast tank.
It's coming from that slit. Got one over here too.
Yeah, the ballast tank is compromised. All right, let's just see if the tank stops when it hits the probe.
Yep.
It did? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think that's a split in the actual tank. All right, for the first test, that's not bad. Two little things. We know the sensor probe is working, so we got our stop points working. We can pump it in reverse. That's a bonus, unlike Virginia. So we got two fairly successful tests and one that's like requiring some troubleshooting. So this is it, people. This is the final prototype, fully functional, ready to go. Just a few things we're going to clean up to make it look even more super awesomely professional. But I don't know. I feel pretty confident opening this up. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. Super simple to pop open.
So I think what we're going to end up doing here, we're going to do a final once over here. We're going to make our parts list, do a final cost analysis, cost and time analysis, come up with some pricing. And in theory, by the time you guys see this video, this will be up on the website, ready for orders. It is Tuesday already, and hard at work. Let's take a look. Baleo is completely set up, tested, ready for the pond. We're just waiting for the fog to lift outside. It's foggy, hot, and muggy out here in Texas. And Jason's working on our version 2 prototype of the gearbox for our new 200 series.
Getting there.
These are going to look really good. I think the preliminary test was super smooth for the movement. I think it's going to work really good. And these got bigger, meatier gears than the version 1, so they're going to be a little more robust. Yeah, but still really easy to install. We got like mounting brackets on the back for easy installation. And I forgot to mention, maybe you saw it in the background, we got some semi-gloss on the boat. And this is what I'm talking about, people. This looks like crap. This looks like some sort of plastic pool toy with all this glossiness going on. Don't paint your boats this color, except if you have to, which we do. And I talked to you about this. We're putting decals on, stickers, right, for all of the waterline markings and the hatches and all of that stuff. And they won't stick to matte paint. So, semi-gloss, stickers, and then matte clear over everything. So that is the order of operations. That's why this looks all shiny. Well, I guess it doesn't look that bad. I guess it doesn't look that bad. It's all good. But anyhow, it'll look a lot better once we stickerify it and mattify it. We are gearing up to go to the secondary top secret test facility, which has a little bit more real estate to stretch legs. We're going to Taylor Pond. We got Baleo in the back of the boat. We got a little trim kit. We got some launching straps. We got towels, radio, the stuff that we need. We are going to go do that. And in the meantime, Logan is going to start working on repairing this poor beat up Type 7 that was sent to us by Stanley. So it fell off his shelf. Yeah, so there's a lot of, unfortunately, everything is broken off. All the railings are sheared off. These supports, these skegs are broken.
There we go. We got that railing.
We got one railing. Yeah, that's okay. And then I think that this is held on magnetically, I think. Yeah, so you can see the 2-inch subdriver, the old school 2-inch subdriver from Merriman is in there. So once we get everything all set up, oh boy, and we're going to have to try and fix this too. Oh, this is going to turn into a bigger job than I thought.
It's also missing one of its four bad.
Well, that's why we got a whole nother kit. I bought a whole nother kit for spare parts. All right, well, good luck with that. So here we are at top secret testing facility number 2. Taylor Pond, out here in the Woodlands, Texas. The water clarity is not super awesome here, but we have a nice open body of water to let Baleo stretch her legs. So we're going to go ahead and throw this thing in the water. We're doing a bench test right now, making sure everything works. And then we're going to throw it in the water and see if it floats and sinks and floats. All right, well, let's do a lap on the surface. See what happens. All right, let's see what happens when we flood tanks. I don't think the forward tank is. Oh, there we go. So I don't know. I'm confused. The aft pump is working perfectly. The stern of the boat will drop, but the forward pump pumps. Well, it runs, but is not pumping. I figured maybe it needed to be primed. Of course, we're not going to stick our faces in that. Mostly because of that. But what I tried to do was suck on the air vent, because this is connected to the ballast tank. But if I suck on this, it creates a vacuum, which would run through the pump and draw water up in there. But when I try and suck on it, it's like a vacuum. It's like it's like sealed shut. Whereas obviously on the other side, when I engage the pump, I got air blowing out as the water is being displaced. So faulty start. Back to the shop. Let's see if we can figure this out.
Something pinched, maybe?
I don't know. We'll take a look. We have a smoking gun, thanks to Jason. Let's take a look. So there was some thottages that maybe the intake hose got kinked, and sure enough, look at that.
Kink away.
Kinky boat. So now we just got to pull this out, straighten that out, put it back in. Just. Fortunately, the cylinder is super easy to take in and out, not like an Engel boat with 850.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some reparations. So we unkinked the hose, put everything back together again, and now apparently it makes the boat float level, perfectly level. Whatever. So now we're gonna do another lap. That big rudder, when you heel it over, it actually heels the boat because it's below the center line. That looks better.
Look at the level. Look at that. It's nice when both tanks flood.
Perfectly level. Perfectly neutral too. All right, let's see what happens here. Too aggressive.
Too much.
Boy, the stern planes have really, really good control. All right, here we go. Let's figure our shit out here a little bit. Little stern planes. Oop, that was too much bow planes. I got it.
He knows what he's doing, folks. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean this is 100% just a matter of getting used to the boat.
That's not bad. It's got a nice speed to it. Hello. There she is.
Oh, what did I do?
Oh no. We got a pucker moment. Well, we're just riding a wheelie.
All right, so that funkiness that you just saw there was completely my fault. There was nothing wrong with the boat. I had the stern planes jacked all the way because I was trying to surface back over there, and when you hit the throttle, all that prop wash goes over it, and those gargantuan rear planes that were enough to get that thing standing on its tail. So you can see it's perfectly level here now.
But if you want to pop a wheelie,
Yeah.
I thought for sure the back tank flooded and the front one drained or something.
Yeah, I think part of the problem too is I had her goosed at like full throttle, so
It's amazing how much water that dampens that sound too. You can barely hear that gearbox.
yeah, exactly. All right, let's bring this baby back up. Any day you head out and you come back with a boat and you're not wet is a good day. Although I would even take being wet and coming back with a boat. So after we got the kinky situation figured out, it actually behaved perfectly. it straightened out the trim for some weird reason, and had really good speed, really good turning performance, and superb response to pitch inputs, to the point where you can, if you really want to, make it do a wheelie, get half the boat up out of the water, as you saw in the video footage there. It's going to take just a little bit of practice to get used to get, you know, really nice PD operation and that kind of thing. I think if you tweak the sensitivity on the pitch controller a little bit, that would probably help out a lot too. So really happy. This guy is done. I think Glenn's going to be coming over with a shipping crate sometime in the next little bit, and talk to the owner, like let him know she was all done, and get her packed up and shipped out. Back at the dry docks, and we are doing things. We're post-missioning the Baleo, the archer fish there. Taking everything out, checking for leaks, disconnecting the battery, making sure all the linkages and everything are good, that there's no like living things inside waiting to jump out at us. While we were gone, Logan worked on another project. Logan's doing a repair job on the forward dive planes using some CA and baking soda. That looks like a good job. We have a lot of the parts. I got a spare kit we're scavenging from. You can see the repairs that Logan's made to the really damaged parts. We got some spare parts in here. It's got that old school cylinder in there, so we're going to be checking that. I got to talk to Stan though, and how are we supposed to check this with no radio, dude? So we'll see if he can send that to us, and then we can really get it going. What else do we have going on here? Oh yeah, this is something else Logan did. He trimmed out ASDS for Virginia. So we cut a hole in there. We got some flotation foam. So in theory, if you did this right, this is perfectly neutrally buoyant. You figure? Was it?
Should be. At least within a slight little bit.
Okay. So I got a million things to do. I got some emails. I got some invoicing. I got a lot of CAD work to do. I got printing to do. And a bunch of customer correspondence to do. So we're going to wrap up here, grab some lunch, and then off in front of the computer to do boring computer stuff. It's Wednesday, and we're at the top secret test facility that is absolutely flooded with stupid leaves. Foggy, but it's supposed to be nice today, I think. Cooler. 70?
60.
Yeah. And we have the Akula cylinder, and we're going to do our second test because we addressed that one little leak. So throw it in, power it up, see what happens. Nope, still leaking.
I know it's leaking from.
But it's also leaking from that same spot on the top of the ballast tank. All right, this is try number 2 today. It turned out one of the studs broke the solder in there. Someone didn't know how to solder, whoever did that. Don't know who that was. Yep. Okay, let's dive. That's that same spot, eh?
Yeah, I thin-ciate it, I fixate it, I smeared the shit out of it without trying not to get it on that seal.
All right, I'm gonna bring it back up. We'll drain it, and then we'll have to really take a look at it. But everything else looks like it was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're making it. So Jason finally got the Akula cylinder completely buttoned up and waterproofed. So basically we're going to be on to trimming that bad boy here in a minute. But right now we got the Virginia cylinder back out. Now if you remember, the issue we were having is that it would pump water in but not pump water out. So let's see what it does today. Okay. Is it pumping in?
Mm-hmm. Pumping something, I can feel it. Oh.
It's pumping water directly into the... Turn it off.
It is off.
No, the model. Okay, so you saw some excitement a minute ago. the hose on the inside of the ballast tank blew off the nipple, and we were pumping water directly into the pump compartment. So it got flooded, but Jason managed to bring it back to life. Dried it all out, and everything's functional, no problem. We're just putting everything back together again. Logan's made some progress with the Revell Type 7. I really hate these plastic models, guys. Like, I know they're cheap and they're really beautiful, but I am a big sub person. Like, I can't even get 2 fingers at the widest point of this boat.
Yeah, it's heart-wrenching every time you have to take the cylinder out, because to take the cylinder out, you have to just bend it out.
Bend it, yeah. So Logan had to redo the whole stern. So we had some metal gears that were part of the fittings kit that Merriman made back in the day, but one of the gears was missing. And of course, can't refabricate them.
It was just loose.
It was just loose? Okay, that's good. Yay, something going right today. So Logan fabricated a whole new gear system out of my gear parts bin here. So this is working really good. Now we got to stabilize this rear dive plane situation, and just again, just look how thin that is. Like, holy hell. We're gonna have to put like a thin little wire through there to try and stabilize that whole thing. And for whatever reason, this repaired part is impacting the propeller, and we still got some workage to do, but we're making progress. Oh, and Virginia got her livery, her little decals, or decals. I'm Canadian. These are decals, not decals. You don't say metal. Sorry, that's enough. I won't harp on that anymore. But it looks super cool. These are a pain in the butt, by the way. It's one, like, assembly, but it's made up of, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like a whole bunch of different parts. So it takes a long time to put it together. Really high quality product there. They worked really good. And I cleared it. You can see it's still kind of drying. There's like a different sheen on there, which actually looks really cool. The different gradations there. You can see where the internal bulkheads are. But what I'm going to do here now is remove the upper deck, mask off the stern rudder and the bow, and we're going to do just a little misty mist for a water line, a little scummy water line, and that'll just really help with this demarcation. Break up the hull split so that it's not so visible, and then we're going to have a really cool looking boat. All right, we got the Virginia cylinder back out here again. The pin did not stop the water from filling. And now, when we turn the pump on, it runs, but no... You know what? I wonder if the solenoid valve is closed. But at any rate, you see these bubbles here coming out of the... This is telling me, I think, that air from this pressurized chamber is getting under the rubber and into this tube and blowing out here pretty slowly. So we might need to put some zip ties around the ends there and see. But the fundamental thing that's the issue, we can't blow the tank and we can't vent the tank right now. Yeah. I think maybe that pump controller shot. Brand new. I think I have more at storage. Yeah. That's poopy, guys. If you remember, a long time ago, I made a video about an OTW dive module that would not pump when it was in the water, but it would pump when it's out of the water. Guess what's happening? We brought it out of the water, pumping out. Now we're going to put it in the water.
Nothing. Only when...
As soon as this knurled nut comes out of the water.
Yep. Or...
What the literal...
think it's the power. Is this running right now? It's running.
Yeah.
Now it's off. Running.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This is waterproof. Like, in or out of the water shouldn't be making a difference. And it's instant. Like, instant.
Yeah.
I think we're going to need to do away with this OTW dive controller. Put a regular speed controller. Now, that means we're going to lose the... All right, well... I wonder, I think I have an old school, like old OTW dive module, like the old solid state ones. This is their new one, their better one. I think we'll grab it from storage. We are going to try something here. We added an O-ring to this base part right here. We think maybe what's happening, the water's grounding out into the brass fitting and causing some kind of a feedback loop in the controller. So now there's a seal on this side and on this side. In theory, the wire and that fitting are completely isolated. So we're gonna bring this back right now and see what happens. All right, here we go. Take 28 of our testing methodology. All right. Okay, we are filling. Okay, we're filling. It's, you know, I wonder if the pin will work now. Let's fill it up to the pin this time. Okay, what about the other way?
It's doing something.
It's pumping out.
Pumping out.
Okay, now I'm gonna try and fill.
Pumping.
It's pumping. Okay. No, it stopped. Or did it?
No, it's still going.
Still going? Okay. All right. Good.
Now it stopped. At about an inch level of pound of it now.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a low volt. You know, maybe we should grab the other battery. I don't know. I did charge that though, and there's a lot of juice there. We're trying with a different battery this time. Down. No? Yeah, I didn't think it would have beaten the battery. So it's really weird. It's stopping pumping half full. Like the pump is actually stopping. It's not that it can't pump anymore. It's just...
No, it's... I took it out and it was still trying to pump. Hit down again.
No. So when I
take it out of the water, it works.
Okay. All right. I really thought we had this stupid thing licked. Ugh. All right. We got to get the other pump controller. Back outside Top Secret Stash facility, and it's raining a little bit. We got Mr. Akula in the water. That is a freaking cool looking boat. Now, I just jammed one piece of foam in the bow. It's sitting level-ish, little low in the stern, but I just want to see where it's at when we flood the tank before we get too excited. Ready? Going down. Little lower in the stern, tiny little bit lower in the stern. Oh, now it decided to level out. Okay. All right, bring it all the way back up. So we're going to need to add foam below the water line in the middle to backish of the boat. Right about there. Cooler back here. So we figured out some placement. We got some foam that is press fit here, traps the battery down and is held in place by the servo tray on the top. And then in the back, we found a nice little pocket for a little piece of foam there. And I know you guys are like, oh, it should be higher up in the hole. It's fine, guys. It's about halfway, and there's lots of weight, a huge strip of lead in the bottom to offset all this buoyancy. We have no issues with static stability. I think this is going to put us in a good place for tomorrow when we throw it back in after the silicone has cured. We are, I'm going to get changed, and we're going to go do some running around, some errands, and on the way we're going to go to storage, pick up the new dive controller for Virginia. Hopefully that is going to address our wonky ballast system. So we should be in a good place to pick things up tomorrow. Before we go, I just decided to do the water line-ish. I just did this with rattle cans, guys. It looks pretty good, and there's a bit of a technique to it, but you just do a little, and then on the top we're going to do just a little bit of salt streaking. These boats, you know, they don't get weathered, really. The U.S. Navy looks after their Virginias. They're kind of expensive. Looks awesome. I love that ASDS too on the back there. All right, well, good progress for one day. A very good Thursday morning. We gotta take garbages out before we forget. Garbage day today here at the dry docks. Sold that damaged Type 7 yesterday. Someone wants to get their feet wet. He seems to be, understanding of everything that it's going to take. So let's take a look at the boat. We promised we'd do a little function test. Let's take a look. So battery's still fully charged up. So let's see. Let's run through the functions. Let's do our rudderage and.
Rudder's still fully functioning. I believe dive planes.
These just need to get connected. That's all. You just came unconnected. Hey, there.
Oh, it does have both.
Of course. It just needs to be adjusted. We'll run through this. We'll get these adjustments going. It looks like it just got finagled a little bit. Okay, forward dive planes. No, that's the bow retracts, which is he's going to need to address. He's going to address the damage. He knows about all that. But are the forward dive planes? Oh, this came undone too. And this got twisticated, but it's working. And then pump, yeah. And this came off too. What the heck is up with this? I wonder if he tried? No, he didn't. I don't know what he did. We'll go through that. That's all working. Okay, good.
The emergency.
And then the vent. Yeah. It's all working. He's going to get a hell of a deal on this. This is really, really good. Took a couple of minutes, got everything all squared up. Let's do one final check here. Got rudderage. There we go. Nice and square. Dive planeage. Good throw. Throttleage. Nice and smooth. Ballast. Good. We got good vent and air pump. And 4 dive planes. Yep. And this, the retracts is we're not screwing around with that. That's part of the repair scenario that he's going to undertake.
Having said it does work.
It does work. Derp. All good. And then, well, we already showed you the backup. So yes, everything is good. We are going to wrap it up, throw it in the box, get her gone. One more kind of cool thing I wanted to share with you guys. We had a bunch of this 3/3/4 tubing left over, polycarbonate 1/16 wall tubing. We're like, what the heck are we going to do with it? So while we have tubing left, if any of you guys are interested in building your own watertight cylinder, we're going to have tube sections available, and we can cut those to whatever size you want. And generic end caps. So you can drill for seals, drill for motor mounts, whatever you want. No, we are not going to fully set up these. They're not going to be plug and play, screw your motor in and off to the races. This is purely for the DIYers out there. These are great for ballast tanks, whatever you want to do there. So you can buy end caps and tube sections, all built to order, limited time while we have the stock. And no, won't have any other sizes, just these. This is all the stock we have. Got a little present yesterday, we just cracked into it. Let's take a look at Smiley. So this is Smiley, the 38-inch shark, I think he's going to be when he's all done. So by going to this size, we made it vastly more economical to produce, and I think more desirable for people because you can tuck that under your arm. You can put it in the back seat of your car. You don't need a freaking pickup truck, but it's still big enough to freak people out when you drive it around in the swimming pool or at the lake. And tons of like ease features. So all the gills are already pre-opened up. The head is going to be removable, so you can get at all the motors and everything. This is going to be awesome. Idea, turnkey. Just put the order in. We can crank these things out for you. First thing of the new year, after we get back from my trip, we're going to start knocking the prototype out and get this thing going. Man, that thing is cool. Back out at the top secret test facility. Got Akula in the water. You gotta see this. Perfectly trimmed. We just need 2 little nuggets. Well, 1 nugget once we get it in there. In the front, above the surfaced water line. And if we bring her back up, she raises, she surfaces and dives completely and utterly level. It's epic. This is such a cool boat, man. I love it. So we're just gonna do a little throttle test, just to see how much oompage she's got.
1, 2. That's only 2 clicks.
2 clicks, okay.
4. 7.
Look at it blow the water out the side of this fall.
Right there.
Oh boy, she's gonna be quick. Really quick. This is a really hydrodynamic shape. Boy, oh boy, she might be a little fun to drive. After a super ultra successful test with Akula, we're now getting geared up to take it to the pond. We're going to bring it out and let her stretch her legs. Jason's lubricating.
And some good gunkies on the Periscopes to get them to float freely.
Yeah.
Clear and grease it up.
And Logan swapped out the old/new style pump controller for the old school pump controller. Look at that sucker.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
It's all like
TFR low warning.
old school diodes and resistors and all that stuff. So what I'm hoping, turn it off.
Telemetry lost.
Okay, you guys heard this thing was like freaking out on us. It's the Dean's connector. It's the same issue that we ran into with that other boat. It's loose when you just touch it and move it. It makes and breaks a connector. It's just, I am never using Dean's again. This is ridiculous.
Twice in the same week.
And again, maybe these are cheap Chinese Deans that I ended up with somewhere. Regardless, though, honestly, this doesn't even need a connector. This could go straight to the switch without the need for a connector because you can disconnect it right here. So this is redundant. It's just another point of failure. So we're going to do away with it. Be gone, Satan. We got 1 last minute upgrade that we're going to be doing on this thing. I want you guys to take a look at what the float for the Periscope is. And that is, it's like weather stripping foam, self-adhesive weather stripping foam. This is not closed cell. So Jason's going to pull it off, and then we're going to show you something. It's damp. You can see, look at the water squishing out of it. So what would basically end up happening is this would become less and less effective, obviously, because the buoyancy would become less and less, but the whole boat would end up getting heavier and heavier as that absorbed water. So
I don't know if we can get this.
Oh, you got a chunk on top there too. Okay, well, we got to see if we can get to it. And then we're going to replace it with some proper closed cell foam. Old, mushy, gushy, gross, new, pristine. So we'll get these adhered to that after Jason cleans it up. And we should have more flotation, cleaner installation and no propensity to sink the boat. So, got some salt streaking done. Just put a little pastel on a rag and just wipe, straight vertical. It's like a quick and dirty weathering method. Makes the kind of the salt streaky look to it. I think it looks good. That's done. Logan just finished up the cylinder. We're going to double check, make sure everything's buttoned up, tightened down, throw it in the boat, and then put it in the top secret test facility and see if it'll actually work. Back out once again at the top secret test facility in the beautiful sunshine with Virginia. All right, so a little low in the stern, but that's because we got a big ASDS sitting on the back. So yeah, let's see what happens when we floody the tanky. Okay, I can hear the pump going. We are submerging. So it looks like either we need a little bit more foam in the back or a little less foam in the front. So success. It's pumping perfectly in and out. The position switch is cutting the pump out. And it turned itself off. Everything's working. The old school OTW controller worked, and the new one is a piece of crap. So, we noticed a couple of little tiny leaks. There's one just in the tip of the bellows seal, and the main drive shaft needs to be torqued down. But other than that, this thing is rock solid. So, get her back on the bench, do some minor adjustments, and then we still need to, we'll put a little bit of foam in the back, and then, yeah, bring her back out. It's Friday, and it's an important day because this is the very last day before we go on an extended break for Christmas and New Year's. Family's all packing up, and we're going on an airplane to Scotland and England for a little while. We're super stoked. Logan's going to come back and wear a kilt in the shop from now on. No, okay, all right, guess not.
Nope.
Not OSHA approved. But there's a lot that we want to get done. We've got Akula, I want to get in the water. We got Virginia, I want to get in the water. We're going to clean up the shop, get some orders shipped out, and if we can swing it, which I'm highly, highly doubtful, we got a cylinder that is being traded in on a new cylinder that we need to strip and put in the new cylinder. I don't think that's going to happen. But if we can just get the boats tested, that'll be good. So let's take a look at Akula and what needs to get done before we throw it in the pond. New floats are done. We have a strawberry Oreo sandwich in the sail there now. Just waiting for the glue to dry. Alignment is super important for this. And this mast right here, this big one, is the one that creates the shaft situation. There's a sleeve that it goes into. I'm not touching it because the glue's drying. Don't touch it. But in theory, once that is all done, we can do a bench test, pre-mission it, and get it ready to go. Virginia needs one more dip in the top secret test facility. This is done. We don't need this anymore. Get out of there. And just to test the final trim, I installed one more piece of foam in the back there. But in theory, she's going to be close enough for the water as well. So things are looking promising. So here's our finalized Periscope system. The thing about these Periscope systems, guys, you can only raise the periscopes the depth or distance that you have to the top of your watertight cylinder to the bottom of the shaft. And you got to make allowances for the mechanisms as well. So the whole travel for this is only, inch and a quarter, maybe? Inch and a half? I mean, it's still cool. You know, you just got to make sure that you got really good, easy travel edge, like you can see right there. So this is done. You know, it'll, when it goes down, the water will hit the bottom of the float, and then in theory lift the Periscope assembly up like this, so that when you're running at Periscope depth, you know, you can just keep the Periscope tips up. Gives you a little more wiggle room. Is it worth it? Yeah. I'd pull them out. I don't know. I don't think so. But whatever. You know, it'd be a little different if you went with a 3.5-inch cylinder, which I think would be a much better choice for this boat. You get a little bit more travel. You could have these things retract a little further. But it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love it. I'm anxious to get out on the water today. Back out at the top secret test facility, and we got Virginia. We're going to make an attempt to see if we got the trim dialed in yesterday. A little extra foam in the back, so let's see what happens here. We got power, and down we go. So we need a little bit more. Oh, you know what? We might have had an air bubble trapped. Yeah, looks like we just had an air bubble trap. So I think what we need to do, I think we have the right amount of foam or flotation. So I think we got to do some rethinking of the vent situation for trapped air underneath the hull. And it comes back up. Yay! So we'll drill some vent holes. And I think we're ready for the water. If anything, it's going to be slightly more positively buoyant than we want, which for a testing scenario, I would much rather be at. Here we are, top secret test facility number 2, and we got Virginia here, and we remembered everything except the rudder extension, which means she's going to be in stock operational form. So no matter what, the performance has to be better than what we're going to see today. So let's drop this thing in the water, see what she does. So she's in the water, she's floating. Let's see what happens. So you can see that rudder cut all the way over, and virtually nothing is happening. That is a cool silhouette though. Don't like that. Got the straps. This is full throttle. So I made an assumption. I had charged the battery, you know, when we first started working on it. We just like goofed around, you know, with the ballast system and trimming and stuff like that. But apparently, over all that time, the battery got depleted. And that's why this thing was not moving at all. Let's take a look. That's full throttle. Yeah, she is definitely drained, depleted. Oh, that's frustrating. But it's not all bad. It worked, it floated, it turned.
I mean, considering how dead it was, it means that like what 40% battery or lower, its performance is pretty dang good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Well, fortunately, we brought another boat to play with. Back in the water, Akula is floating. Ooh. she is quick. That is about 1/6 throttle. Now she is going to turn like a bear with those little baby. Oh, you know what? That's not bad.
I guess enough water flowing past means even small control surfaces can work pretty well.
That is not bad. Oh, okay, so you really can't go more than 1/3 throttle before she starts chopping up. Getting a little rooster tail action. Look at that profile. I gotta talk to Steve and try and convince him not to weather the bottom. This turns nice. There is nothing wrong with this at all. All right, I'm gonna cut the throttle down and we're gonna flood the tanks. Look at that trim. So our periscopes didn't come up. Oh yeah, baby, look at that wake. Oh yeah, perfect. Look at that. See how she turns underwater. Oops, 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 oops. And this is half throttle, by the way. I'll loop around.
I wonder if it'd be worth switching it to an exponential instead of linear.
Yeah, probably.
That way, if you decide you gotta dunk something quick, you can... Oh, there it goes. Its form feels so perfect for the water. Like, it doesn't feel like it breaks the water, it just feels like it emerges.
Yeah, like no drama. I'm back here. That's full. Damn, that's a fun boat. Well,
That one just about as good as it can get.
yeah. I mean, obviously you got to learn the boat. You know, I would almost, like you said, put the diplanes on an exponential. That'd make it a lot easier to control.
I always love the double takes people do when they see, like, oh, they're driving a boat. That's a weird looking boat.
All right, well, let's haul this thing out of the water before something happens and ruins my Christmas.
Nice job, Akula. You saved Christmas.
So, all in all, it was a 60 to 70% success day. The Akula was perfect, utterly perfect. It doesn't get any better than that. Super quick, easy to control. Like I said, adding an expo on the pitch control, I think would be really, really good. And actually, right now I've got them combined on the right stick. I could separate them again and just use the front planes, and that would probably work really good. But at any rate, this is all stuff the new owner can tweak depending on his operational style. I'm super, super happy with it. Virginia did about as good as you could possibly hope, except the battery was dead. She gave it her best effort despite being utterly and completely devoid of any electrical power whatsoever. So we're gonna bring her back, charge up the batteries. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see how the weekend goes. If the weather's nice, maybe we'll bring it out tomorrow. Anyhow, we got to get ready for our trip. We may or may not have a chance to do that, but at any rate, we'll get her charged up, and we'll also have a chance to grab that rudder extension, which I had literally in my hand and left at the shop. So, all in all, 2 boats in the back, nobody's wet. Doesn't get any better than that.
Yep.
So So we're just doing a quick post mission, not even so much as a dribble of water, no condensation, front or back. Perfect. Just needs power, apparently. So, all good. Pull this out, throw it on charger. See where, let's see. Guess where the voltage was based on the RPMs that I showed you there. This is a 12.8 volt battery. Let's throw it on the charger. Where do you think the voltage is? 7? Well, that's pretty depleted. All right, let's see. So maybe I'm not familiar with this life battery situation. The multimeter was showing us like 13.3 volts, which is weird because it's like a 12.8 volt battery. I don't know. It's on the charger right now, and the charger's like, yeah, no problem. I'm charging at 2 amps, and we're at 13.8 volts. So apparently it needed charge, but they're both on there. It's all good. We'll get this thing back out again. Maybe I'll snap that rotor extension on right now so that I don't forget. Again. Should probably paint it. Are we done for the day? Are we all done? Should we go in and get treats? Oh boy. Okay. So that is going to wrap it up for this week, but a couple of quick mentions. I've got a 250 sub driver that is set up for the ARC Type 7 or the Revelgato. This is all set, ready to go, barely used, tested, functional, ready to go. That's going to be on my website here right away. If you want that, to let me know. I've also got, that came with it, well, actually with a different cylinder, a VEX with a receiver, VEX radio with a receiver, so 75 megahertz for those of you who are digging your heels in and insisting that you're not going to switch to 900 megahertz. If you're looking for an old radio, cheap radio, I got a VEX there. I'll throw that up as well. Check it out. We got cool boats. That all got checked out. I got to talk to Steve and try and convince him not to paint that. I don't think we want to paint that, Steve.
It's a pretty boat.
It is super cool as it is. Virginia's going to get tested when we get back. We ran out of time, unfortunately, but it should be fine. Man, maybe this weekend. I don't know. We'll see how
Time works.
We'll see how the time works. But other than that, we're going to sign off. We're going to wish all of you guys a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We're going to be back in the shop second week of January. So you guys have an awesome time. Spend it with your family. Don't live down in the basement working on your boats all the time. Just a little bit at a time. Have a Merry Christmas from your friends at the Nautilus Dry Docks. We will catch you next time.